Hello everybody, welcome back. So today I played against a player from Ukraine called Vasily Ivanchuk. So that was a very interesting game because obviously Ivanchuk is a very famous name. Vasily Ivanchuk, very famous player. Arguably one of the best players never to won the World Chess Championships. I think Victor Korchnoi would possibly be in that category as well. David Bronstein. In terms of the greatness of those players, obviously, if you look at the pure rating, then someone like Nepomniachtchi would be ahead of Korchnoi and so on. Now, I first probably got to know Ivanchuk in terms of, know something about him back in the early 1990s. Obviously, he won Linares, I think, 1991. I think that's when he first came to the wider chess public's attention, ahead of Kasparov, and people were tipping him to be a future world champion. I think I also remember reading these Dvoretsky books around about that period, a little bit later, and it talked in great detail about his matches against Yusupov, because Yusupov was obviously famously connected to Dvoretsky. Yusupov was like a co-author of a lot of these books. So it talked a lot about that. There was a famous candidates match that they had, and that was a great match. And also I remember in 1994, I went to London. There was a PCL Intel Grand Prix. Ivanchuk played against Kramnik in one of I think maybe the semi-final, and he beat Kramnik. In the final, there's a famous game where he played against Anand. He eventually won the match against Anand. In one of the games, he actually lost. It was a Caro-Kann and he was black. And at some point, he misses a mate. It's like a forced mate. And I'm listening to this on a headset, and the commentary's coming through from Danny King and Maurice Ashley. Takes you back. I mean, this is 30 years ago, right? It's crazy, right? How long ago it is. It's almost like half a lifetime ago, right? And God, I've got a bit of a double chin here, right? Yeah, I need to lose a bit of weight. Just too many desserts and too many fattening chocolate bars and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, so basically, I'm in this audience. This audience, like dozens and dozens of people, maybe hundreds of people. There's quite a big theatre they're playing in London. I'm not sure about whereabouts it was in London. It was in central London anyway. I can't actually remember where exactly. And I think actually in the semi-final, Anand beat a computer that had earlier beaten Kasparov. So it was also it was like Pentium Genius or something like that. And everybody in the audience was saying that the computer's going to beat Anand as well, but Anand managed to beat it. But in the final, he plays Ivanchuk. Yeah, so get a position where he's got mate in one and he doesn't see it. And because the commentary's going nuts, I started laughing like nervously because I was like, yeah. And Ivanchuk actually, I think he shot me like a stare, right? Like a death stare. Because he's missed this mate in one, but he's like annoyed by my reaction. Even though like I'm sort of like sitting way back in his darkened audience, he can still, pretty much pick me out. So anyway, so today I played Ivanchuk just to get the preamble over with. And I played like a lifeless game. It was a really awful game that I played, but yeah, he kind of made me look bad as well. So it's like a combination of being nervous. One of the things I noticed when he sat down, he looked in good shape. I mean, he's wearing a hoodie. He's not overweight like me. In good physical condition. Even though he's older than me, probably look younger. So he played Sicilian. I played the black side of Sicilian. He played it into the open Sicilian. And I was sort of vaguely... The other problem I've got at the moment is I've only got this tablet. I haven't got a laptop. So if anyone wants to make a donation, I might put my PayPal down below to sort of buy Gormally a laptop. But yeah, so basically I got the move order wrong and I got confused. And then I realised you're supposed to go G6, Bishop G7 before you go Knight F6, because then he can take on C6 and go E5. So I did realise I could take back with the B pawn and go Knight G4, but I wasn't sure about that. So I ended up going into this endgame, which is a bit grotty. And then later on, I had a chance I went Knight G4, and then he went Bishop D2, which I thought A4 actually before that was like a really classy move. Like A4 was like, that was like a move. And I was actually thinking during the game that, You know, I watch a lot of golf and they talk about how these players are built differently. And I was thinking there's not many players I would play who would go A4 there, because most players would play them like a move like Bishop F4 to start attacking immediately, because they wouldn't have the patience to play a move like A4, like a prophylactic move, just to show. It's like a move that an engine would play, right? Just to show that black doesn't have anything. So after A4, I went knight G4. And he goes bishop d2, and this is why I have to go bishop d4, and I saw bishop d4, but I didn't take the calculation far enough. And I played this awful move instead, f5, which I thought looked natural when I first saw it, but then as soon as I played f5, I realised you can play like f3, or you can play h3, and we did go h3. I'm not really even threatening anything. I'm not threatening to take on e4. He's hitting my knight, so I have to move my knight again. But yeah, if I went bishop d4 instead and he castles and then I go king c7, I misassessed that position. I thought it's not that good for black, but in fact it's probably okay. And I didn't like the fact that my bishop's on d4 late, it's going to get tempered by like rook d1, but it's just weak calculation. So anyway, so I did this, and then after that he played a really good game, and I did miss a chance with bishop e5, which again I saw. So I think I was just out-psyched, you know, I was outside. So before the game, I was like, I don't care, I'm playing Ivanchuk. You know, when I played people like Michael Adams, I always get outside, partly because I like their big names as well, but also partly because I've got a bad record against them, but I've never played Ivanchuk before, so there's no reason about outside. But at the board, I started to feel uncomfortable, I started to feel nervous. And I didn't play a good game at all. Like f5 was a terrible move, just really like a brainless move, like an IQ of a cauliflower move, right? It just doesn't do anything. It's just obviously bad. It weakens my position when my king's in the center. It's a shocking move. And then later I played knight e5. That's also a very bad move. So everything about that game was wrong. I think I'm also feeling tired now. As I mentioned before, I played Barley Benidorm. Now come straight here, I'm having all these health issues as well. My foot's gone numb, my right foot's gone numb. I've been tested for diabetes. I don't have diabetes, but there's clearly some issue going on with my back at the moment. Need to lose some weight, as mentioned before. But yeah, it's still a tremendous, you know, it's very, at the end it was very nice what he did, all this kind of like G4, H4 stuff. That was really, all these star moves are like pawn moves. So it shows really that amateur players and, you know, players like myself, we underestimate the power of pawn moves, dynamic pawn moves. But it's a tremendous lesson to play someone like that. And a tremendous, I feel like it's going to help my chess tremendously if I play people like that on a more regular basis. It's very tough to get a result against them, but you just have to keep trying. So basically now I'm in a situation where I've spent a huge amount of money and I really need to win a prize. Otherwise I've got no money in the bank whatsoever. So I'm under pressure. I feel uncomfortable. I may go to Hastings as well, which would cost me more money. I'm going to have to put everything on the credit card. I don't have a laptop, so I can't prepare. I've got all these health issues. So it's starting to get me down a little bit, and I'm feeling unwell. I've got a cold as well. So a lot of issues piling up one by one. But yeah, looking on the bright side, it's tremendous to play people like that, because that's why you play chess. That's why I came here, because I want to play against good players. I wanted to play the European Championships earlier. But to play someone like that, who's probably one of the best players to ever play the game, you know, he's okay. He never quite won the World Championship, but he was on a par pretty much with more or less anybody who was playing, you know, back in the 1990s. It's only maybe Kasparov who was ahead. He was pretty much on a par with people like Anand and Kramnik. But he never quite became world champion, Ivanchuk. I don't think he's mentally weak. A lot of people used to say he was mentally weak. I don't think he's mentally weak. I think, in fact, he's mentally strong, but maybe mentally weak compared to some of his contemporaries, maybe, but not compared to the average chess player. I mean, I'm mentally weak. That's what I'm saying. I get nervous. Someone like Magnus Carlsen is not going to get nervous when he plays anybody, but I get freaked out when I play against, like, well-known players like Ivanchuk and Michael Adams and David Howe and people like that. They don't get, Magnus Carlsen doesn't get psyched out by anyone. So I need to work on my psychology as well. And I think it would also help if I played players like this more regularly, because then you get used to playing them and you wouldn't feel so nervous. Another thing I would say is Ivanchuk is a great analyst. If you ever check out his Twitch channel, not sure if he still streams, but it's always entertaining watching his Twitch channel, that he just analyses positions without an engine. Also went into the commentary room today as well, as Lawrence Trent and Ketty from Georgia, Ketty Takachvili, I'm not sure the pronunciation of her surname. They're doing the commentary, and I kind of stumbled into the commentary room today. That was a bit embarrassing, but I did get an interview eventually, so you can probably check that out on the YouTube. That was quite entertaining with Lawrence. I've known Lawrence for many, many years, and I would check out their YouTube channel during the live broadcast, because it's certainly entertaining commentary. And so basically now I'm in a situation where I need to probably get 3 out of 4 to win a prize. It's going to be tough, maybe 3.5. I'm not feeling very well. I don't have a laptop, I don't have any money, so it's all a bit depressing, but hopefully things will turn around. If I play Hastings, I'm going to be under pressure to win a prize there as well. It's not enjoyable, actually, when you can't really feel like you can play. You're constantly worrying about the money situation. It's actually kind of depressing.